Welcome in, all of my average gamers to another most average experience. Now today what we're doing, well, basically what we always be doing is talking about Marathon. Now, I'm going to be a little bit more critical this time around, all right? Because I do think there are some things that need some changes. And with the mid-season change, the mid-season update, the shake-up right around the corner here, I figured it's a good time to make one of these videos. I do want to start with the good though. So we're going to start off talking about some of the good. We're going to talk about some of the mid, and then we're going to talk about some of the things that I really believe need to be changed. Now, I do want to start off by saying I absolutely adore this game. Like, I just cracked 300 hours in it. I'm playing a shit ton of it. I stream it just about every night. Feel free to come on by. Twitch is in the description below, so feel free to come on by Sunday through, well, I mean, Jesus Christ, every day. That's what I just said. As you can tell, it's been a little while since I made content, and this one's gonna be a little bit different. I'm not quite freeballing it. I got some notes, all right? I jotted down some shit, but I also didn't write a script, all right? Because I have a pretty busy life right now, so sitting down and actually fully writing out a script is pretty tough. So I jotted down some of the main bullet points that I want to talk about, some of the main things I want to talk about, and the main things that I really hope come to the game, because I want to see this game succeed. Not only because I enjoy basically every game Bungie's ever made, so I would like to see the studio continue making games, but I also just don't know what else I'd play right now if I didn't really have Marathon. I mean, there are some other games that kind of pique my interest that I think are, you know, interesting and fun, but nothing draws me in like Marathon. And I do think part of it is obviously the overall gunplay and experience, but I also think it's the incredible highs that you can get from this game, and most extraction shooters in general. There's just something that, like, oh man, you just start chasing the dragon, let me tell you. So I'm gonna have a little gameplay in the background. Like I said, we're gonna do this a little bit different, so I mind you, if the editing is a little funky and stuff, let me know down in the comments below if you like this video, if you like how I did it this time, if you want me to do it a little bit different, let me know. So the biggest thing about this game, and basically every Bungie game I've ever played that I really enjoy, is the gunplay. The gunplay is top of class. You know, it is best of best in the industry. I mean, don't get me wrong, like id, Activision, DICE, Embark, Respawn, like all these developers make a really good FPS game. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there aren't other really good ones, but there is just something about Bungie's gunplay that I have always clicked with ever since, you know, Halo Combat Evolved. I've always been a fan. I've always enjoyed it, and I think it's what's always drawn me in mainly, and why I've always been a big fan of Bungie PvP, and why I kind of fell off Destiny as a whole is because, you know, obviously PvP kind of fell off. Which is fine. It's totally fair. You know, it's I had to allocate resources and stuff. Don't worry, we're gonna talk about Destiny 2. Everything that's been going on with Bungie, Sony, Destiny, all that. Like, trust me, I'm gonna definitely talk about it. I'm gonna say some things that I'm probably gonna get roasted for, but I'm gonna give you my honest opinion as I always do. So let's start talking about the things that, like I said, that I enjoy about Marathon, and the reasons why I think you should honestly give this game, you know, a try. And then there's going to be things that I am going to bring up that I hope somehow, some way, that some developer at Bungie hears. So yeah, if we want to see some change, you know, feel free to drop a like, drop a sub. You enjoy the content, of course. If you don't like the content, if you think I'm talking straight up out my ass or I'm full of bullshit, you know, I totally get it. But hopefully we can be somewhat on the same mindset here, and hopefully we can see some growth and change to this game so it doesn't die. Because let me tell you, I at the end of the day, I don't wish for any game to fail. But I understand that there's a limited market. There's only so many people, and live service extraction shooters are kind of niche to begin with. So obviously, like I said, I enjoy the gunplay. But another aspect of the game that I really enjoy is the movement. I think the movement's in a really good place. Like, it's not, you know, we're not talking about like Apex or Titanfall or like crazy insane movement, or even like the newest Black Ops and stuff like that. But it's not like mil-sim grounded either. I think it finds a nice middle ground that makes it so gunfights feel fair. Feels like you have an ability to flank and maneuver and, you know, get out of dodge if shit gets hot. And I think what lends into the movement, and another big plus to this game, or something that I think is done really well, are the map designs. I think every single POI in every map is designed incredibly well. Others will disagree, but there's really nowhere on the map, no POI on the map that I'm like, oh man, I really don't want to fucking fight here. Now, there are moments in POIs that I don't want to fight there, like certain buildings when they're in like the lockdown mode, or like secured resources there and stuff. There's all those lasers and shit. Like, yeah, I don't really want to fight in that building, but it's not because of the design of the building. It's because of the extra traps and shit. Now, I do think that specifically on perimeter, it's a little too open between POIs, and I hope that, well, I guess they said in season 3, I believe, that they are gonna add quite a few updates to perimeter, which is great. That's exactly what I want to see. I think the onboarding early game map should be absolutely peak. Like, one of the first things that you experience in Marathon is going to be perimeter, and I think it should be a highlight of the game. Even if it doesn't have the best loot pool, I do think it should be one of the best designed and most enticing maps to play on. You know, one, like a map that we want to play rank on, a map that we want to, you know, get into PvP fights on, because it's so well designed. Now, for me, I understand that this next thing is pretty subjective, but one of the first things that really drew me into Marathon was the art design. I like the high contrast, the bright, the sci-fi. I mean, I'm always kind of a sucker for sci-fi shooters. You know, I've been a big fan of Mass Effect. I like Titanfall. I like Apex. I wouldn't quite call those sci-fi, I guess, but they're kind of bordering on it. I mean, they're fucking doing some pretty crazy shit. Now, I do think that not everybody's going to click with the art design. I do understand. I mean, I've had people come into chat and be like, yo, this shit kind of gives me a headache. I think that's a little extreme, but I also understand. I've never seen a game where I'm like, yo, this shit's too much. It's like giving me a headache, makes my eyes feel like they're bleeding. I think that seems like an extreme take on any game, but again, it is subjective. So I do totally understand it. And I do think overall, especially now where we are in season 2 and what looks like is coming in the season 2 update, which I'm gonna touch on the blog that just came out. I'll probably go over it on stream and then try to upload it for you guys so you can see it. And so yeah, come on by stream. We're always talking about the newest updates and changes and checking out different clips and things like that on stream. It's always a place that I love talking about basically anything in the FPS market currently. One of the new game, okay, you know, I'm not getting in a tangent because I was about to say I do want to try Impulse, but that's a whole nother. But yeah, I think the overall game experience, the feel, the UI is getting there. It's way better than it was at launch. The menu, you know, I think the art design of the menus is cool, but it can be a little confusing and difficult to navigate at times. And the other thing I really think Bungie nailed, and others are going to disagree with, this might be a bit of a hot take, but I think Marathon might be the single most balanced FPS game I've ever played. It is, outside of a handful of experiences, I have never felt like, yo, this shit's unfair. I have no way of winning this. There's nothing I can do. Like, yeah, this sucks. I'm going to have to grind my ass off to be able to compete. Now, mind you, I understand I haven't touched on the meta yet for the late game, the ranked, the cryo. Trust me, we're going to get into that bullshit. All right, I might have some takes that you may disagree with, but or you might agree with. You know, like we'll see. You know, let me know down in the chat below. I do think that the game feels fair. Like I rarely ever feel like when I lose a gunfight, I'm like, I can usually instantly point out 1 or 2 things that I could have done differently and probably won the gunfight. I think all the guns are viable now in season 2. There are some that are definitely more stronger than others for sure, but I think every gun has the capability, especially if you kit it out and stuff, to be able to do damage, to do work, to be able to win gunfights. That being said, get into some of the things that I may disagree with about this game. Well, not even necessarily disagree with, but I think things that need slight tweaks, slight changes, slight overhauls, if you will. One of the first things that I think kind of needs a rework is gonna be the assassin shell. It's not for why you probably think. I don't think the assassin is the strongest shell in the game as far as like PvP goes. I think it definitely has its perks, the invisibility, the smoke, there's a lot to Assassin's kit, but I think the biggest thing that kind of holds the game back as a whole because of Assassin's kit is his ability to negate any PvE. He can just drop smoke at will, and no matter what type of bot is there, he can just sneak in, grab the loot, get out, and act like he was never there. And I think that, so like if Bungie's trying to add different bots, different challenges, different raids, different mechanics, Assassin can bypass almost all of it. And I'm not saying I want him to be nerfed into the ground and have him no longer be fun. And honestly, I don't even really know what changes I would bring to Assassin to make him different. I think only having one smoke ability instead of two would help. I don't think having the drop cover shot thing where you can jump down and drop smoke plus having the ultimate with smoke, I think is a little too much. I think he should have probably just the ult and maybe I don't know what you would do for his like passive ability there. I mean, maybe he just doesn't have one. Like not every shell does. So, you know, maybe he just loses that. I don't know. Like I said, let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. How do we think we can? But the biggest thing is not for PvP with Assassin. I have another shell that I think is kind of making PvP a little bit stale, and we'll get into that. But Assassin is more of the PvE. I think he kind of ruins what Bungie could potentially achieve with the PvE side of the game, and the raid style mechanics and the puzzles and the different enemies and factions that they could bring in. Recon. Now, Recon is the one that I do believe is the one fucking with PvP. But Recon, I think, probably needs the most rework. I think with Assassin, you could almost just, like I said, like increase his cooldown on the ult and get rid of the second smoke ability. And I think Assassin's in a good spot. Recon, I think, needs a lot more reworking. The Tick's totally fine. I think the Tick's AI could maybe be a little bit better at times. It does still kind of get stuck in like wonky ways, but you also don't want to make it incredibly oppressive either. I mean, you can like basically like one-shot it and it blows up and you don't have to worry about it, but it can be a little tough to hit sometimes. That my motherfucker's wiggly. All right, he's shaky. He's got the wiggle and peak going for sure. But the main thing is the ult, the ping ability. So right now, personally, it's just way too strong. With the combination of how they nerfed Rook, basically into the ground. Rook already kind of like sucked in season 2 with the Waster nerf, the lack of claymores, and basically no way to counter the Recon. So if you're a Rook, say on Outpost or Cryo, or actually not Cryo, but like Outpost specifically, if a Recon sees you, the whole team's gonna hunt you down. I know this because I play with a Recon, and every time we ping a fucking Rook, we melt him. We chase him down. Every once in a while we come in friendly. They're like, hey, we know you're there. Like, chill. You gonna fuck with us, or like we cool. The other thing, but the main thing is that his ping is too oppressive right now. It really is. It covers too much of a wide area. It's in all directions, and everybody on the team benefits equally from it. So some of the changes that I would try to implement, or things that I would maybe suggest. Now, again, in the comments below, let me know, because I want to hear everybody in the community's idea. Even if you dislike the game, like coming in with a different perspective from a different FPS or a different shooter, specifically like a hero type shooter, you know, like all ideas are valid, even if they're stupid. I think there's a couple things I would do. I'd make either Recon's ping only visible to Recon. So therefore he has to be good at communicating to his teammates where things are, and he has to be able to get his ping and then manually ping it for his teammates to see it. I think that's one way to make it a little bit better, so the whole team isn't just able to like run up on people and melt them. Another thing could be similar to how Sentinel's kit works. Make it directional, so the ping is only in the direction you're looking. But even then, I think there'd probably be a way to break it to where you could just like slowly spin in one space, or like as you're running, just spin around in circles and kind of get in all. So I think that way might be able to beat cheese. So I'm not sure if that works. My personal favorite way that I think Recon could be reworked is to essentially make his ping or her ping system a like a throwable or like a placeable. So basically, when she instead of doing the beep 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 on her hand, she throws down a tad that instantly starts working. Obviously, it'll work better than the tad. It'll work similar to how it works now. Keep it working exactly how it is now in all directions. Whole teammate can see it. But the thing that it negates is the hard push. Like it becomes more of a defensive and less of an offensive ability. And I think it still can be used to push, don't get me wrong. Like maybe make it a throwable. Doesn't have like maybe make it like a spear or something that you can throw like 15 feet in front of you or something, so you can throw into the center of a POI as you're pushing into it. So it doesn't totally negate the offensive ability, but I think the fact that Recon can basically run between two POIs and just ping the whole way and just like literally find teams makes her just a little too oppressive. And you also know that every team's gonna have a Recon when you get into end game, when you get into late game, when you get into Cryo or ranked. Every team's gonna have a Recon. Every team's gonna play exactly the same way, where it's creep, 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 play slow, play quiet. As soon as you have a ping and you hear any level of noise, ping and push. I'm not saying that's not a fun way to play, because it is. One of my good buddies on here, he plays Recon like regularly, and it is fun to play with a Recon. Like there's a lot of information you get from it. But I've also noticed that with everybody having a Recon, like every game, every fight goes exactly the same, and it gets a little stale. And that's why like I don't really play the meta characters, if you will. Like I play a little bit of Sentinel and I play Vandal. Those are the two characters I've been playing mostly in season 2. Season 1 I was basically a Thief all the way. A Thief was a really popular character when she came out, so like it's not like, and she is incredibly strong in so many ways. I just wasn't good enough. Like I wasn't good at remembering to use the drone, so I was like, all right, I'm not really utilizing her kit to its fullest, so I should probably try to find another kit that I will utilize a little bit better. And like Vandal and Sentinel have definitely started to click with me. Sentinel is more of my like trios, and then Vandal obviously is like my solo character. And I do think I think that if Recon can get some sort of rework without making her feel boring, like I don't want her to get nerfed into the ground where nobody wants to play her, but I think making it so that it isn't a necessity to have a Recon on every team. It probably still will be. And I think the only way that Recon becomes less viable is if you do that first thing I said, where like only the Recon sees the pings and she has to like manually communicate with her teammates. And then the other thing when it comes to late game combat, we got to talk about it's fucking meta with the Mizzies and the damn bubble shield. Listen, I hear all the complaints. I see all the complaints. I've felt them firsthand. I get it. First things first, though, I don't think the Mizzie's in a bad place. I actually think the Mizzie is perfect right where it is. I don't think it's too oppressive at range. I think you have to push with it. And I think it does what a fucking shotgun should do. Like if I gotta unload like 6 rounds into somebody to kill them with a shot, why the fuck would I have a shotgun? That's such a slow TTK compared to like a submachine gun, or the D54 battle pistol that's currently in the game, which is the absolute, definitely the best gun in the game right now. Like there's really no doubt about it. And I think so. I don't think the Mizzie. I think it's just the combo of the tight corridors, the bubbles, and the Mizzie. I personally would probably get rid of the bubble. I don't think there's a way to keep the bubble in the game and change that meta up. I know they're gonna make some changes. They're gonna probably change stack amounts, how many you can bring in, things like that. And like, I get that, but I actually don't mind the nade spam that much. I don't mind if somebody can bring in like 16 frags. Does it suck? Sure. That doesn't bother me as much as bringing in like 7 bubbles. And now I think some of it does come down to a skill issue. I'll be straight with you. Like, I'm not very good with the Mizra. Every time I try to use it, I get stomped. I'm not great at playing the bubble. I've never been a bubble guy in other games that have had bubble shields and characters that can drop domes and things like that. I've never been really great with it. She's never been my thing, so there's a little bit of bias in there. But I don't think the shotgun needs to really change. But I do think the bubble needs something. I think this is gonna be. I think the bubble should change. I think. All right. So here we go. This is probably the best rework to the bubble that I can think of. And I don't think it should be a bubble anymore. I think it should be a 360 wall that can protect you if you're crouched. If you're standing, you can still get shot in the top of the head. And therefore you can peek over it and shoot. You don't want to make it too small because you don't want to make it like a crazy head glitch either. But I think that is something that could potentially make the bubble less oppressive. And it would give more ways to counter. Because right now there's nothing that can, like, I thought like having the EMP would be a good counter to the bubble. Like, you throw an EMP at the bubble and it instantly disables it. I don't believe that's how it works, and it should, personally. Like, there needs to be more counters to the bubble, and there really isn't many, if any at all. So so probably the EMP counter, and then I think making it a 360 wall would be better than making it a whole encompassing bubble. Because I do think the defensive ability to like drop a bubble on a down player and revive them is still huge, and I think that's something that should still stay in the game, because obviously smoke kind of sucks to do things in. Like, some people are really good at playing in the smoke, and I think if you're a controller player, smoke can be kind of difficult because the aim assist will like drag you in all kinds of different places, and then sometimes it feels like the aim assist isn't on at all, and then that fucks up with your aim because it's 180 degree different feeling type of thing. So I do think those are things that need to stay in the game. With that meta shakeup that I talked about with the Mizzies and the bubble shield, the other thing I want to talk about too that some people think are a little too oppressive are snipers. Now, if anybody thinks snipers should be changed right now that they got rid of the thermal sight, which I think was probably the best choice they could have made, now that they did that, I don't think there is really anything wrong with snipers. Does it suck getting fucking domed? Yeah, of course. It's a shitty feeling. Nobody wants that. But at the same time, is it not like one of the best feelings to just straight fuck somebody up from across the map? Is that not like one of the best feelings ever? Because I think it is. I think it's fucking dope. So I don't really want it to change. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it should change. I don't really want it to change, and I'm hoping they don't fuck with the snipers at all. Now with all that, I do think I mainly talked about more mid and end game changes that I want to see. And I did talk a little bit about perimeter because I really think the biggest thing that needs to happen with this game, and I think they are trying to do it with the Vault Breaker mode that's coming up and stuff like that, is they need to find a way to retain players. For me, on a personal level, something I want is another like mid to like mid-high level map similar to Night Marsh or Dire Marsh. But I think that can come in another season. I think season 3 really needs to work on the onboarding and the like early game and new player retention. So I do think, modes like the Vault Breaker are incredibly important. I do think that the sponsored marsh runs that we had, I think things like that are really good. I like how they're doing the Vault Breaker where it's like a currency that you can earn, and where you can't just come out, completely kitted out on day one after a wipe and have like purple fucking gear and shit like that. Because I don't think they want to ruin the early game economy like they did, because I think that really fucked up the free weekend when we could have gotten some like new players to stay on, and possibly, or the free week I think we had at the beginning of season 2. I think because they kind of fucked up and boosted the in-game economy so much, like you couldn't do shit. Like if you were a new player and didn't understand what the fuck was going on, you came across one of those kid players, you're totally fucked. So I do think that making this a currency based or something like where you can earn something that accumulates towards gear that you can bring into the regular game mode, because like I said, I do think that everything that they add to this game should somehow, some way tie back into the main game mode, which is the extraction shooter. I do think some of the things that I would like to see added to the game eventually, I know it's going to take some time. Obviously we talked about some of the reworks and tweaks and stuff, but I do think that they should add more free weeks or free weekends, moments, or maybe like a buddy code that we could have to where we can give one buddy a free copy of the game to get him into the getting him into the ecosystem is better than trying to sell the game at $40 personally. That's what I think. All right, so I'm hoping that they will do more weeks, weekends, ways like that, because I've got some friends that are kind of curious about Marathon, but they just don't really want to drop $40 on a game that they're not totally sure about. So I think that'd be good. That'd be cool, and I would like them to try and do that. Like I said, I think Perimeter needs a little bit of rework and a little bit of like sprucing up. So since that is like the first map that you get introduced to as a new player, and I think there should be some sort of firing practice range, something where players can just go in and learn mechanics, have no cooldowns, have no, you know what I mean? They can just learn how things work with their shells, learn how guns shoot. And one of the things that I think would be really cool with this, and I think it would actually differentiate it from any extraction shooter that I know of currently, is giving you a mode where you can use your vault to kit out, but you don't lose it. So almost like an arena mode, like an arena shooter, where it's like, 6v6 or 5v5. I actually think it'd be cool if it was just pure PvP. You just go in, they do like 1 or 2 PUIs of a map, and they keep it, in a smaller section, and like that's all they do. And then basically put on 3, 4, 5 teams in there, like have duos, have trios, maybe even throw in the quad mode. But I think having teams go against each other to where in the main game mode you're earning gear to be able to go into this game mode, and you don't have to risk losing it. So it helps you kind of get more familiar with stuff, guns, how they use, because like, dude, I would love to be able to use the Mizzy but not be terrified to lose it. Like I'm almost afraid to take gunfights with it because I'm inexperienced with it, and I feel like I'm not going to do great, and like I don't want to lose it because it's a hard gun to come by, and you do need it in basically everything endgame right now. So I would like to see them try and add a mode like that. That would be so sick. Like that's a big wish list of mine. I think having some type of mode where you, and like I think I'm gonna make a separate video on that to where I'll go into like really big details, but I think that'd be cool. Starting to wrap this up here, coming up to my last few bullet points here. And some of the other things that I think they need to tweak and change, obviously, is ranked. So ranked right now is purely based on loot, and the best way to get loot is just go in and kill other players, which I agree with. I think PvP should be a big part of ranked, but I think there should be other ways to earn. Like I don't think it should be necessarily like currency based. I think it should almost be like a point based system. So like you should like earn like 10 points for every bot you kill, and like escalates as higher. So like if you get Warden, you don't necessarily have to loot the Warden, you just have to kill him to earn enough. I like the fact that you have to go in with a certain minimal. I think 5,000 is probably pretty good. Maybe you could lower it to like 3,000 for bronze. I think might be a little bit better. And I think bronze, I know player count makes it hard, but I do think bronze players should really hard separate it. Even if it increases the queue times, like hard separate the bronze players from the rest of the. Once you get to silver, you're pretty familiar with how everything's working in rank, and you've got your kits and you understand like what's going on. But when you're first getting in, to get just fucking rolled over will instantly make you not want to play ranked. Like the 2 guys that I play with the most basically don't want to play ranked, because every time we go in, we come against like these level like 150, 200s. They're like silver and gold, and they're all purple and gold, you know, hits, and it's just basically get kind of stomped on, because we're good. We're not the best team out there. Let's be honest, we're not. I know I'm not the best player. There's a reason why I'm called most average, for a reason. But I do think rank needs some tweaks like that. Kind of adding like a point system in there, keeping bronze players hard separated from the rest. I think going in and making those tweaks will really help with ranked, and making it a little bit more fun, so it doesn't feel like you have to. And I also think that like killing players should give you points for that, because sometimes it can be really hard to like. You have to basically sometimes let go of your own gear to be able to get gear to come out with. Like if you didn't bring in a big enough bag, or you know, there's things like that where I feel like even when you win, you still kind of feel like you lose sometimes in rank. And I don't think you should ever feel like you're losing in rank. So I think some tweaks like that could really help. Again, I think I'm gonna go into another video where like all my tweaks and stuff like that, because this video's getting a little long. So I think I'll make a couple other videos to touch on these things. Another change that I'd like to see is, as the season progresses, I think the free kits should get a little bit better. I don't think mid to late season I should be having an all-white free kit. Like, it's cool to do the 0 to hero runs and stuff like that. Like, there's no better high getting a crazy come up when you come in with a free kit and you kill some dude with like purple and blue and all this shit. Like, it is awesome. It is genuinely phenomenal. But I do not think that there should be. I don't think there's any reason not to upgrade it to greens. I think green kits from like maybe this season they could have introduced it a little earlier because of how much they boosted, but I think by mid-season free kits should be green and up going forward. Like that's how I think it should work. I think the purple kits that you can buy from the factions should be a little bit cheaper. I think 40,000 credits for a purple kit is a little ridiculous, because I've made those exact kits that you get with those purple boxes, and they're not a 40k loadout. They're not even close. They're like a fucking 6k loadout. And they usually give you like weird guns, and Bungie, please stop putting the fucking night sights on every goddamn kit. Okay, they're cool, but not everybody likes them. Not everybody wants to use them, and I'm fucking sick of getting them on every goddamn gun you give me in this game right now. Okay, I don't want them. Not really even a big fan of Night March right now. I don't really want to play Night March, so I don't need those fucking night scopes. All right, so I think we're coming to an end here. We're wrapping it up, and I think these are the main things that I personally would probably add, tweak, change, overall adjust in this game. So at the end of this video here, as I always like to do, I want to reach out to you guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think of my ideas, what you think of some of my changes. If you think they're awesome, let me know. If you think they're hot doo-doo, also let me know, because I think communication around this game and in the community is good, whether it's criticism or whether it's praise. I think either way it's good. I do want to touch on one last thing that I think is very important that I didn't really get to touch on in the game, and it's kind of why I like zoomed it all in and stuff like that. Stop. For the love of God, stop celebrating the death of Destiny. For any delusional fuckface out there that thinks Destiny dying is going to make Marathon better, you're a fucking idiot. And like by the time this video releases, I got to imagine you're kind of seeing some of the aftermath, what's going on over at Bungie. I mean, they literally have been cut like actually literally in half, if not down to like 40% of what they once were. We've lost some incredibly talented industry vets. Even some young, hungry, talented people have been let go, and it's a terrible thing to see. Anytime there's layoffs in the industry, in any industry, it's a terrible thing to see. I do think Destiny 2 needed to die though, but not for the reasons it did. I do think Destiny 2 needed to be put away, put on the shelf. Leave the servers going, of course. Don't ever shut the servers down. That'd be stupid. But allocate resources to a new Destiny experience. Because at the foundation of their infrastructure, it is just fucked. There's no reason that an MMO type game should be sunsetting, especially early onboarding new player content. Like, that's all gone, and it shouldn't be. what they needed to do was end Destiny 2 when it was at its peak. You know, after like Final Shape, after everything kind of concluded, everything came to its ending, they should have been like, all right, we're wrapping it up. Give us some time, let us cook. We got something big coming. And then just close the curtains. And what they needed to come out with was to completely rework their engine so that it can handle basically unlimited amount of content. There's no reason to ever sunset again. And they needed to release D3. Not only just D3 though. They needed to basically re-release D1, D2, and the new Destiny all into one content. Make it a Destiny universe. So that brand new players that never got to experience Destiny, you know, especially the younger, new up-and-coming gamers, get to go back and start Destiny from the very beginning without having to worry about what system they're on, whether it's compatible, whether it was ever even released on that system, having to worry about, you know, shitty server, any of that, all of that stuff gets negated by making it one whole universe. Now, I understand this is a pretty grand thing, but I think if they had done that, even if that means Marathon didn't happen, which as much as I don't want to hear that, because I do love Marathon, I think that would have been a way to literally, once again, be an industry changer. As much as I hate to say it, Bungie went from an industry innovator to an industry chaser. They did kind of chase the extraction shooter trend a little bit with this. Now, mind you, I think Marathon is unlike any other extraction shooter in the industry. I do truly believe that. But I also think that the extraction shooter is a niche genre. And I think when they create more of these high-end content in an already niche genre, you're putting a niche inside of a niche. And that's why our player counts are so low. We don't have enough casual, like, modes. We just don't. And Bungie, I hope you hear me. Destiny community, I hope you hear me. I'm sorry. I am sorry that it came to an end. And I hope that in the coming months and years, we all get good news. All right? I don't want this to be another respawn. Because I understand that people are like, oh, if you want to get another Destiny, you got to support Marathon. Well, yeah, we did that once. Remember when we all wanted Titanfall 3, so we all flocked to fucking Apex? Mind you, Apex is a good game, okay? I'm not shit on Apex. But we all flocked. We all supported Respawn. We all gave them our left fucking nut and our firstborn child, and we still don't have a Titanfall 3. So what? So it's not just about, oh, support the studio and you'll get what you want eventually. Especially now that Bungie technically is under control of Sony. When Bungie was independent, maybe I could say, like, yeah, that's the way to go. And I think maybe, but Respawn's under EA. They don't have the final say. And this is under Sony, so they don't have the final say. So, at the end of the day, all I can hope for is y'all give Marathon a fair shake. Go out and try it. Bungie, please give us some more free weekends so we can let our buddies come in and play. Hell, give us a buddy code so we can invite friends permanently to come play this game. And finally, let's cross our fingers and hope for Destiny 3. Well, that's it. That's the end of the video. Those are all my thoughts on everything. I don't know if you agree. I don't know if you disagree. Like I said, let me know down below. If you like this content, you want to see future content just like this, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that sub button and, that little bell notification so you get notified each and every time I drop content just like this. I know it's a long one, but I had a lot to say. It's been a little while since I put my voice out there on this game and in this genre as a whole. So as always, my friends, stay safe, stay healthy, stay sexy, and go make some average plays. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Deuces. Have a great day.